Your election, Trump's election, they were fair. Why shouldn't we just all pull a Trump and say, no, not having it, never happened? To any independent eye, they have been fair.
Well, you're always going to have those Republicans who have Trump derangement syndrome.
Kari Lake is back in brash and making no sense on Piers Morgan again as they got to the topic of Trump's electability if convicted and the overall fairness of elections, where Kari Lake, of course, had to make some absolutely ridiculous claims. Here she is stating, if you're a Republican that doesn't want to vote for Trump if he gets convicted, it's only because you have Trump derangement syndrome.
If he's actually convicted, it does seem like many Republicans would be deterred and may prefer to then pivot to another candidate.
Well, you're always going to have those Republicans who have Trump derangement syndrome.
So you heard it from her. If you're a Republican who doesn't want a criminal representing your party on the election ticket, must be TDS, which is over half the party, might I add, and even a quarter of self-proclaimed Trump supporters feel this way. These are people who voted for him both in 2016 and 2020 and would vote for him again if he was not convicted of any crimes, but think that him being a criminal is just too much baggage. On the left, we call that sane. On the right, they call it Trump derangement syndrome.
If he wants to win a general election, why should any of us accept the result? Why shouldn't we just all pull a Trump and say, no, not having it, never happened. The other guy Biden got stolen, got robbed, and just keep saying that for the entire tenure of Trump's second term. I mean, seriously, why shouldn't Americans just, not me, but Americans just return the favor?
Yeah. We heard that in 2016. Remember, Hillary was the original election denier. That's the term they use. We've all
Now, remember, Hillary called Trump that night to congratulate, publicly conceded the next day on stage. This is not at all comparable to Trump's scheme and him still crying about it 4 years later.
been called that. And this is one of the reasons, Piers, why I've been pushing and working really hard to bring about election reform.
This kind of whataboutism to deflect any responsibility is super annoying, and it really prevents you from engaging in any sort of actual conversation. And the exact reason is because they know they can't justify their actions. So they're just trying to point to something that looks or sounds similar somewhat, which what's the point with that anyway? Are you saying they're both bad? Because when you present them with that line of logic, they're like, well, no, Trump is still good. He didn't do anything bad, but Uno reverse card, here's how what Hillary did is actually bad. I'm just comparing the two. And it's all really just toddler level discourse to justify the terrible actions of someone that you blindly support regardless.
To any independent eye, they have been fair. Your election, Trump's election, they were fair. And most senior Republicans have accepted this. And to continue bleating about having an election robbed makes it difficult for you to then claim victory, doesn't it, in elections?
Well, I will point out that you brought up the whole topic.
She's like, whoa, I didn't bring it up. I'm just happy to lie about it. This is all just super frustrating rhetoric, especially when you consider how mainstream it's become, with people just repeating it blindly and not even realizing how nonsensical it all is. Trump and Lake both just couldn't deal with losing, to the point that they threw childish meltdowns on TV, on social medias, and tried the results in court, the legal methods, which garnered them absolutely no results. So instead of packing it up and calling it quits, they began pushing lies on a national level about the election being stolen, with no evidence, nothing to back up their claims. This is the exact Republican playbook. You find something just controversial enough, and just enough of the population isn't well informed or read up about it, and then make sure there's some murmurs about it before, so you're not the first, it's not completely novel, you can point to other people doing it, and then blow it way out of proportion with lies and misinformation just to distract from the fact that you have nothing to give on the policy side of things. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video, because the only way we become a society is together.